Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm in front of a place that I grew up in right now, off of Cahuenga and Franklin. Just walking around, thinking about my Lakers. I started my last video in front of a Kobe mural in Hollywood Boulevard, and it turns out it was the number 824. And if that isn't numerical stuff, I don't know what to tell you, but this is the deal, man. My team got beat. Yesterday was Chick Hearn's birthday. We were in Philadelphia, Kobe Bryant's birthplace. And I'm telling you right now, we lost by 44 points. And more numerical stuff, because I'm BDF 44, so I'm taking something to that. I listened to what LeBron James said. They asked him what needed to change. He said a lot. A lot. And I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely agree, everybody. Things need to change. Now, I'm not looking at a loss like that and saying we need to fire Darvin Ham, because that makes me a hypocrite, because I gave Darvin Ham the game ball of the last game before that against the Cleveland Cavaliers. One loss is one loss. And to be honest with you, our starters got beat by probably about 25. Our reserves, or double reserves from the third string, got beat by another 20-something points. That's kind of how that went, to be honest with you. About 19 or something like that. That's how that really went. They came in and made life significantly worse, if you want to know the truth. That's all it was. We got beat by a reasonable margin, and then the people we come in to be reinforcements so that our starters can relax, they're the ones that got their heads knocked off by the Philadelphia 76ers bench. So we need to assess that part of the game as much as we're assessing anything else, because LeBron didn't get beat by 44 points rather. He didn't. It was the guys we brought in, Demoy Hodge and whoever else, Jalen Hood-Shafino, they was the ones really letting that score run up to where ultimately it went. I tell you the truth, you guys. That was one of the worst losses we've ever suffered. Fourth worst loss in the history of our team. The worst loss LeBron James has ever suffered on the team that he's been a part of. Heads gotta roll. I don't know what needs to happen. I'm not certain who needs to be fired, who needs to be kept. I'm not certain. But things need to change around LA. Hey, buddy. Things need to change in LA. Because if they don't, we may lose the king. We may lose LeBron James. I'm telling y'all the truth. If we don't step up to the plate and schedule some damn practices, and y'all know that's my point of view, just schedule some freaking practices on a consistent basis that can get these guys in the type of shape that they need to be in, basketball-wise, if not physically, basketball-wise for certain. If we can't do that, we're going to keep getting blown out, man. And we've been skipping practices. I've been telling y'all about this. I've been hearing about it every couple of days. Well, they didn't schedule a practice this way because they had to do this. Well, we didn't schedule practice this way because rest is more important. Rest is not more important. Conditioning is more important. Then you can rest off of the conditioning built. Don't rest the bodies that are not conditioned. That's called laziness. And every other walk of life, that's laziness. I want people to understand that. If you're not in shape, you don't need rest. You need work. And that's where we've gone wrong on this team. We're assessing our team as if we need rest when we're not in shape. And that's a big problem if we're trying to win. That is a massive issue if you're trying to actually succeed in what you're doing. Now, granted, it was just one loss. We have lost only 4 of our last 10 games or 11 games or however, something like that. So we have a winning record in the last month or so. But if you want me to celebrate that, then you have to make it so that I don't lose by 44 points. That's the reality of it. I cannot lose by my namesake, y'all. And so that's really what it comes down to. I'm asking everybody who has anything to do with the Lakers not to consider trading people today. Not consider firing people today. But considering practicing more than you've allowed yourself to practice. That's it. That's all I want from this team, yo. Stop letting the excuse of having older guys, the excuse of having guys missing, and all of that keeping us from practicing as much as necessary to improve to the level of our opponent. If the rest of the league only practice once a week, cool. But since the rest of the league does not do that, you got to catch up to what they are doing so that you can match They're fire. What I saw yesterday was a team that was ill-prepared. They were going after a hypothetical Philadelphia 76er team that's run a zone because they got Joel Embiid and he's going to play on the inside. That's hypothetical, man. That's not actual, bro. That's not a reflection of what it is you've seen the Sixers do for the last 4 games. What the Sixers have been doing the last 4 games is shooting over 43 three-point shots a game. I told y'all against the Denver Nuggets, they shot 43 threes. They went and topped that against us because we kept leaving them open to do so. Why wouldn't that be a part of our scouting report for this basketball team? How do we need to be so ill-prepared going up against a team that has so much evidence of what it is they just did? So much evidence. All you had to do was pay attention. It's there. The truth ain't hidden. It's Googleable. And I'm telling you, that's where my head is at. This is ridiculous. To have lost this basketball game by 44 points just tells me that people were not prepared for what was coming, man. That's like me stepping off this damn curve when all these damn cars is coming. You got to be prepared for what's coming. Not for what you think is coming. Based on what you think they've done last year. That's the type of preparation the Lakers are doing. Well, they look at their personnel. They have him and him and him. So clearly they're going to do this, this, and this. Hell no, that ain't what they doing. And because they know you think that way, they definitely ain't going to do that. The Philadelphia 76ers are trying to break the record for the most threes attempted every damn game. And they're winning this way because they're not turning the ball over. And they're shooting a high percentage on the inside. From the outside in is how they're working their offense. You were not prepared, Lakers. Running a zone. The same zone you ran against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who don't play nothing like these guys. Nothing like them. Darvin, I'm telling you, bro, basketball is something that has to be taken very seriously from moment to moment. You can't have hypothetical game plans, bro. You're going to lose people that way. Hypothetical game plans is how you lose the locker room, bro. Because they feel like you ill-prepared. They looking at you like you should have did homework. You should have known these fools are going to shoot almost 53s tonight. Why weren't you prepared for that? That's your job, bro. And your coaching staff. That's your job. Running defenses that ain't even fitting what's coming of us. I'm sorry, LA. You lost by 44 points, fam. You're not going to have a happy BD of 44. It's not going to be the type of thing that you think. It's going to be very worse for you when you hear from me. If that's going to be the reality you're going to make me have to exist in. And I get on this damn camera and have to tell people my name is BDF44 and my team lost by 44 against the damn Philadelphia 76ers. Who are a very good team right now. But historically, nah, fam. They hadn't won a championship since I was 1 year old. They haven't won since I was 1. And you let the people just destroy you. LeBron James is on this team playing at a high level at 49 years of age. He's going to be 49 in about 30 days. And you're trying to tell me that you lost by 44 points, the most loss he's ever had? He never lost a game worse than that. Never in his career. And you wait until year 21 when his career is absolutely full grown for him to lose a game like this in your uniform when you have 17 NBA championships to your name? I don't want to hear that Philly made all their shots. I want to hear that we didn't play good defense. So therefore they were able to take all the shots and be as hot as they were. It takes rhythm to get in that type of heater going, man. And we let them get that rhythm going. At some point in time, we got to look at ourselves, not look at them and say, well, they shot so well, so that's good enough. That ain't good enough. Getting beat by 44 points is never good enough. And it's easy to say, let's trade people. But I'm telling you, you can trade people and still get that same result because it's not who's on the team that hurt us. It's how often they are practicing. The consistency of running their stuff and what comes with that. If you don't do it enough. That's what beat you. That's how you got beat by 44 points, LA. You don't practice enough. You work on your craft, you get better. You don't work on your craft, you run into somebody who does and get whooped. That's what happens there. I'm tired of excuses, and I'm sick of people thinking that they can pick and plug new players as if it's going to be anything different. It's not going to be anything different. You bring Zach LaVine in, nothing different. He gets beat by 44. Okay, I just want people to understand that. He goes 4 for 20, and he gets beat by 44. If that's the game plan. Vanderbilt, maybe he cuts into that deficit a little bit. Maybe you only lose by 38. That's what happens. You ain't going to win. You know why you ain't going to win? Because you do not practice. That's all I'm here to say. This ain't deeper than that. I would love to tell everybody, hey, yo, the Lakers, they just wait till everybody comes back and they will be straight. No, they won't. They're an average basketball team because they put in average effort into their craft. And they make every excuse for why that's okay. And you know what else is okay? The results of that. If that's all you're going to do, it's okay. You're just going to be okay. That's all you're going to be. You're just going to be an all right basketball team. You're just okay. Are we going to win a championship? What? What are you talking about? Anybody that asks me if this team is capable of winning a championship, I'm going to laugh at you. Just like everybody else should when they see a team that plays like this get beat by 44 points against a real contender. You ain't beating nobody. This is what's going to happen if you happen to make the playoffs. You want to treat real games like their practices, like that's acceptable. They count, coach. They count. Your practices need to happen so that you can make mistakes when it doesn't count, so that you can be executing properly when it does. People used to get on Pat Riley about all these super practices he used to do. Oh, he run them into the ground. So many hours of practice. You see how good those teams are conditioned? It didn't feel like it was as many hours because they got used to it. That's what's getting lost in all of this is people assess too much work. People keep getting hurt because they're not conditioned properly. Of course your ass gonna get injured. You don't have muscle on your body. You're weak. You're gonna get hurt. More practice, better conditioning, better muscle, better execution, more wins. Very simple stuff, man. But we make it so difficult because we do things backwards. People want to give themselves excuses for not working very hard and then don't like what happens when they don't. Want to try to replace somebody else who's going to come in and have the same habits. It ain't going to work. Practice. That's the difference between the good teams and the bad teams. It ain't necessarily personnel. Everybody's a professional. You got to practice. You got to put in the work that you want to see the results in. You didn't get this far into this high of a level by just having talent. Talent ain't going to cut it. Talent never cuts it without work being put in to make that talent as good as it's going to be. And I'm looking at Anthony Davis. That's who I'm looking at. Anthony Davis' work ethic needs to become more consistent, man. Off the court as it pertains to practice. He needs to put in more work because what you do off the court is a reflection of what we see on it. I just want people to understand that I'm not confused by that. If he's only going to work hard in practice half the time, he's only going to play well on the court half the time. Some days we get 11 points, other days we're getting 30. Once in a while he get 50. Man, listen, your talent's gonna get you to 50. But if you want to be great, your consistency has to take you there. Your talent ain't gonna carry you, brother. A lot of people are saying that he's someone who's happy with just one NBA championship ring. But you came to a place where we're not happy with just one NBA championship ring. If you feel that way, go to Cleveland. They only have one. They're fine. You understand what I'm saying? You can't come to a place where we hoard championships and demand excellence, win one championship, and then wear the colors like it's fine after you've just done that and that's it. When I used to live here, I practiced basketball, but I practiced. I shot this ball right over here above this little circle every day and dribbled outside this area right here every day. Every day. Because I wanted a decent handle. And my Lakers, I'm telling you, man, I'm not seeing the same effort that it took to make the NBA. In practice, as these guys were growing up trying to be as best as they wanted to be so they can become NBA players and millionaires, that's not the effort they're putting into their craft right now, man. Maybe they had better taskmasters back then. Maybe they had people holding them accountable. Maybe the money's not, wasn't in the way back then. Maybe desperation was making it so that their work ethic was a little better. But what I'm seeing right now is guys, for whatever excuses, don't have the work ethic. And maybe they'd be offended by this. But what I'm offended by is them coming out there like they do have that work ethic and playing like garbage. That's what I'm offended by. When I've been a Laker fan since when I lived over here, well into my tenure before leaving here, did I become a Laker fan when I was 9 years old. I am 39 now. That is 30 years, fam. I got 7 NBA championships to my name since then. 6 or 7. I lost count. That's the point. That's how much excellence I've been able to enjoy. And you think I'm going to settle for this? You think I'm going to sit up here and say, well, my name's BDL44 and I'm comfortable with my team because they have 7 championships in my lifetime and that's it? Fam, no. I don't become a Laker fan because I'm comfortable with just that many. I want to continue to hoard them. Why? Because I'm going up against the Celtics. The Celtics. You remember them? The guys who also have 17 rings, who we've never passed up in championships in the history of the time we've been out here playing ball. Yeah, that's who you're up against. You ain't the only one. And you know what they look like right now? They look really good. Jason Tatum look like your MVP if you ask me. Or one of them, him, Jokic, is one of them 2 dudes. What is it going to take for us to get back on track to remember that we're in a competition here? That you are trying to pass somebody up who's had the edge on you, LA. I came all the way back to my home where I was raised, where I was born and raised, to tell all of y'all that I am embarrassed. I used to listen to Chick Hearn in this building. Yesterday was his birthday, and you lost by 44 points. 44 points to the Philadelphia 76ers, of whom hasn't won a championship since I was 1 year old. Or maybe was it 1 year before I was born? I don't know. That's how long it's been. But they went in 83, 80, wasn't 85. We won in 85. So I don't know when they last won their championship. Was it 86? They won somewhere in that flurry. And I'm telling you, that wasn't yesterday, man. But what was yesterday is when you got your butts whooped by them by 44 points. I want people to let that sink in. I want people to understand how disgusting that is. I want people who follow me on this channel to understand that we're not downplaying that. We're not going to let that be just another game. It ain't just another game when your aspiration is to win the championship this year. Have we lost sight of that? That we have LeBron James on our team and because of it our timeline is right the hell now? Right now. That's your timeline. You ain't got next year. That's why I don't understand the Jalen Hood-Schifino drafting now that I look back at it. That boy ain't ready. He ain't going to contribute to nothing we got going on successfully right now. And you drafted him for what? Tomorrow? We don't need him for tomorrow. We need him now. He should have been a ready-made player who can play right now. Help us win a championship right now. Coach put him in the game. We down by 25 points. They doing nothing but shooting threes. Why the hell you put him in the game? He can't do nothing for you. He ain't played on the NBA basketball floor since preseason, and this is rookie season. Why you put him in the game when we're down by 25 when his functionality is to not shoot threes at all? Are you trying to win? Or what? That was one of the most head-scratching substitutions I've ever seen in my entire existence. You got the team you going up against shooting nothing but three-point shots, and you put your rookie non-three-point shooting point guard in the game after fresh out of injury. In the second quarter, you down by 25 points. He's fresh off injury. He's never been a pro. What are you trying to accomplish there? Silly stuff, man. And you keep running to certain players out there. You got Max Christie out there. This is his first year. What kind of success he expected to have in that situation? What you think Max gonna do in a situation like that? He's gonna do his best, but my God, man, he's never won anything. He's never played basketball at a high level until right now. You had all last year to put him on the floor to get ready for a moment like this, but didn't want to use him because he was a rookie. Now you want to run Jalen Hood-Schifino as a rookie in a situation like that where he has no way of getting success? What is the rhyme and reason to this, Darvin? Why was that done? And look, I have another thing I have to say, man. I like D'Lo. I like Austin Reeves. Both of them together in the same backcourt, it's not enough strength, man. We've said this enough times. This ain't my first time saying this. You don't have enough power coming at the rim. I told y'all as soon as we lost Russell Westbrook that we're going to need to find somebody to put pressure on the rim because we ain't going to have it. It's going to be layup city. We don't have that velocity going toward the rim, y'all. We need that. And it has to come from somebody who naturally does it. Maybe you go after a Donovan Mitchell. Maybe you go after somebody who can do that in a different way. Maybe it is Zach LaVine. Maybe he's the guy that puts the pressure on the rim. I don't trust Zach LaVine to stay healthy like that, especially for the price tag. That's why I liked Russell, even though Russell had a lot of problems, a whole lot of problems. The one thing we didn't have to worry about is whether or not he was going to be healthy enough to play every damn game. He was always going to be healthy enough to play every game, y'all. And I don't like the Clippers as much as any other Laker fan, but I do pay attention to Clipper fans, and they love Russell Westbrook. They love him. They blame everything that's gone wrong with him sitting down, not the other way around. Do we need to go back and get him? I know that's blasphemous to say, but I don't see a solution to our problem with that. I don't see a solution to us putting pressure on the rim and having somebody that we can count on staying healthy at all. I don't think that player is available to us. You're going to get Ja Morant? How the hell are you going to do that? That's the type of velocity we need. You're going to try to pry a De'Aaron Fox from Sacramento? Sacramento ain't about to do that. Like I'm telling you, that player may not be available to us. We got problems, LA. We got problems. You didn't want to get Cam Whitmore. He would have helped. He would have helped with that. That's what he does. He put pressure on the rim. He dunks on people's heads. Y'all didn't want to get him. At just at some point in time, the Lakers got to understand, man. You don't have time for anything other than winning. If you want to take steps backwards, you got to get the guy who's in year 21, who's literally the GOAT, off of the team. So that all of this other stuff y'all want to do, that you want to wait on, wait on this coach, you want to wait on that rookie, that stuff does not need to be attached to LeBron James, man. It don't. Let's just be honest. That's the biggest problem we got going on. A lot of the stuff that we have needs to be waited on. Max Christie, Max Lewis, Cam Reddish, all of these guys are still learning how to be pros. How the hell are they going to come together to be a championship squad in time for LeBron James? This is my problem with how this team was assembled. I told y'all that. I told y'all that in the summertime. I'm like, yo, I like all of this. The only problem is, it's too many unproven people coming together to try to make a championship happen. It's not realistic. I said that when we put the team together. We're deep, but almost half of the team, if not more than half of the team, needs to continue to develop. Either they're starting their development process or still in it, including Austin and Rui and Vanderbilt. I think people have it in their mind that these people are complete players, like they've already gotten to where they're headed. They're still elevating in their way. They haven't gotten as good as they're about to get. They're not finished products. Finished product, D'Lo, Taurean Prince, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Those are the only finished products that come to mind immediately on this team. Everybody else is still developing. All of them. So how the hell are you going to count on them to win a championship, fam? People talking like Vanderbilt's going to come in and be savior for the Lakers. Vanderbilt is still developing. And he's had setbacks because of the injuries. Like, I need that to sink into my Laker fans' head, yo. Vanderbilt is still young. He ain't who he's going to be. So that's the real issue. You can try to bring Zach LaVine in, maybe give him 40 minutes a game. You're just going to wear him down, man. That's all you're going to do. He's made out of glass just like Anthony is, man. That's the problem with Zach LaVine, bro. He's not durable. He will play maybe 60 games a season, bro. And he hasn't had that injury come this year yet, so which means he's going to have it in your uniform if you trade for him. I'm worried that what makes sense to me is trading LeBron James. I'm worried because at the end of the day, your timeline's not going to really make sense with some of the stuff that you're trying to bring to yourself. If you start trading away these developing players, you're going to bring back some guys who are ready to win, but you're going to decrease your depth. Why do we have a record that's above 500 right now, despite having 6 and 7 players injured? It's because we're literally the deepest team in the league. That is exactly why you're still winning games, because you are the deepest team in the league. Problem is, half of your depth has been missing the whole time, which is the strength of having depth, but also the problem. So if you trade away all of this depth to get yourself some win now guys, and you have the injury issues that we have, you don't win any games. You look like Memphis. You look like Detroit. You look like Washington. That's what people need to understand about the conundrum the Lakers are faced with. You go around trading 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, you're probably going to have the same problems you have right now. Only a lot worse, because your team's going to suck significantly more. That's the elephant in the room that I don't think really anybody even sees. Like, yo, this is our depth. This is why we're not as bad as we could be. We've been bit by the injury bug worse than anybody in the league and still above 500, fam. It's only because you have depth. It's the only reason. You cannot, with your luck, afford to decrease your depth, Rob Pelinka. You can't do it. If you do that, you will definitely not be good enough to win a championship, regardless of who you bring in. That's the problem. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm not new to this Laker thing. I know exactly what I'm looking at. I've been a Laker fan for 30 years. Even though I misspoke and said 34 years. 30 years. Been paying close attention all of those years. All of them. And I'm telling you, man, this is one of the deepest teams we've ever had, if not the deepest team we've ever had. But most of that talent does not know how to win yet. They don't know how to win. So the best thing I can think of is the worst thing I can think of, which is trading the stars for guys who are on their timeline, who are also stars. But you're not going to find another LeBron James. You can trade Bron for Paolo Banchero or something like that, but he will not turn into LeBron James. You can trade AD for Chet Holmgren or something, but he ain't going to turn into AD. Although he might. That might not be the greatest example. But the point is, once you start getting rid of Pantheon greats, now you're questioning whether or not the stars you're bringing in will develop into that with the timeline we're looking at right now. And nobody who has a player that looks like he's going to actually be that good is going to give you him for an old man. You're not getting Wembanyama for LeBron James. It's not happening. So you're kind of just stuck in no man's land, even though the land you're in is a place you want to be. You got LeBron James and AD, and they got to lead these pack of young guys to the promised land on their own timeline. And what I'm looking at is Bron may be up for it, but Anthony, that's the problem. Anthony's motor is my concern, not his ability to play defensively, because he's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in basketball. It's not even his offensive capability, because if you put him in a better system for his scoring, he's going to score more. But there are nights where he just does not show up, man. As we were saying as we were walking through the tunnel, there's certain nights he just ain't going to show. And because he's going to have those type of nights, you're going to have nights like last night, where he's going to have like 18 points and you done lost by 44. And then there's going to be nights where he has 57 points and you're going to wish he did it when you were down by 44. I made a video about 2 days ago or 3 days ago when I told you I wasn't unhappy with Anthony Davis because I fully understood what he brings to the table. But if what he's going to bring to the table isn't exactly what we need, he's eating up too much of the cap. Let's just be honest. If I need 50 points and you're giving me 7 blocks, thanks, but I need the damn 50 points, bro. And I don't want to trade you away or trade away a bunch of my depth to get more players in who are going to shoot the ball more than you, so I still get the same 18 points from you, eating up the same amount of cap that you've been eating. You got to score more, bro. If you want to be up there with the Jokic's and the Embiid's and the Giannis's and all these guys, you got to score the ball a little more for us, man. It can't just be us sitting here watching you defend and then walking away with 10 points. Looking at other people who have not developed yet to do so. It cannot be that. You will lose. We have been losing, bro. 2 games above 500 with our core healthy. We ain't good enough, LA. That's the bottom line. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know how you make people want what you have and give you stuff that you want at the same time when you're not playing well and everybody can see it. But that's what needs to happen. We need to trade something we have for twice of what it's worth so it can come in here and give us twice of what we're getting, because that is exactly what's going on here. We're not getting enough. And we can sit up here and talk about it. We can sit up here and talk about scheduling more practices, and I do believe that that is an answer, but it's not the answer. It's not going to get us to a championship level. We got to do more, and we got to get better, and we got to get better as soon as possible so that our season is not too far in the dumps to where we are locked in as either a play-in tournament team or worse. Speaking of tournament, how come y'all show up for every tournament game but can't show up for these games like this? If Philadelphia had their red floor and it was a tournament game, we probably would have won by 10 points, because that's how much our team shows up for tournament games, bro. I do not like that trait. I like that we show up for tournament games, but that we can't seem to wake up for regular games is a big problem for me. A lot of the league is the complete opposite. They don't wake up for tournament games. Our team overly inspired for tournament games, and that's wonderful. $500,000 is a nice contingency, or rather a reward for winning. Everybody gets 500 G's, but guess what? You don't get a championship for that, man. You get an NBA Cup that's going to look real nice next to your individual awards, but I promise you, man, you're not going to get an NBA championship ring for that. And you're going to mess up your path toward an NBA championship ring by dropping games against teams that you're going to want home court advantage against. Not to say that Philadelphia comes to play, because obviously it's the Eastern Conference team. That's not the case. But these Western Conference games that we're losing, that we're dropping against teams like Sacramento and the Rockets, you're going to probably see these teams. And if we keep playing the way we've been playing, they're going to have home court advantage. Sick of the mediocrity, man. I'm telling y'all I'm sick of the mediocrity. And yesterday it reached a peak for me. As a Laker fan of 30 years, it reached an absolute peak. I am no longer okay with this. This is time to sound the horn, man. People are okay with losing, it seems to me. People are okay with running players that are not even prepared out there for me. I see that. And if the answer is in trades or in firings, then we need to do that. But what we need to do, no matter what, is practice more, LA. You must practice more. And I don't think too many people are saying that but me, but I'm going to be saying it until I see more scheduled practices, bro. And if our coach is not up for holding our players accountable for practicing more, then we need a new coach. And Jeannie, I'll tell you, you can't okay this. You can't okay players not practicing. It does lead to worse conditioning, not better conditioning. They're not resting. They don't have it. They're not in the shape for which rest is even due. They ain't even put in the work to be needed for that type of rest. Only person on this team that even has that excuse is LeBron James, and he's the best conditioned athlete we got. This is unacceptable. Stephen A. Smith been calling us out for this problem, and I'm calling you out. Our team ain't in the best shape it needs to be in, and half of it is our fault because we're not scheduling practices. We're giving people passes for not practicing and letting everything be an excuse for why we don't need to practice. It's not working. You hear me? It's not working, LA. BL44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.